Well, all right, everybody, welcome back to the Fishing for Content podcast. I'm your host, Tej, and tonight's special guest is my new friend, Clearwater Fishing. I'm going to go ahead and pull up that camera real quick. We record these live every Monday night at 8 o'clock on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/teejstone, and we interact with chat throughout the entire night, help guide discussion. So if you guys ever want to jump in, if you're listening to this later on your favorite podcasting network, you can join us live on Monday nights if you want. But please join me in welcoming our guest tonight, Clearwater Fishing. What's up, man?
What's up?
Dude, welcome to the channel. I feel like, we've been friends for like 5 minutes and you're already on the podcast.
It was like last Thursday.
So for those of you, make sure if you're in my community, you can follow his channel. He is linked at the very top of my description below. You can click the link, go to his channel. Make sure you sub to Clearwater Fishing as well. And so 3K subs on YouTube so far. And we were talking earlier, we've been doing this about the same amount of time, around a year and a half, maybe a little bit more. But kind of, so everybody at home knows, we met at the Catchco happy hour meeting, which is basically Catchco gets all of their influencers in a Zoom call to show us some cool stuff. Unfortunately, we can't talk about the contents of that meeting, but it was a really cool meeting. We met each other. You just reached out and said, hey, I'm kind of new here. And I was like, hey, let me send this guy a DM, make sure, everything's cool, see what's up. But I'll let you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, who are you besides just a content creator?
I'm an engineer. I'm a chemical engineer. I work for a company nearby. They make carbon black. Do all sorts of cool things out there. Play with stuff that can go boom. So that's kind of fun.
Cool.
So get to play with all that kind of stuff. I'm a Christian. Go to church at First Baptist Pampa here.
Cool.
And most importantly, Roll Tide.
Oh gosh, dude. Where did that come from? Are you from Alabama originally?
Yeah,
or?
I was born and raised in a little town called Oaks Bluff, Alabama.
Where is that?
It's northeast of Birmingham by about an hour.
Okay.
Near Gadsden. You may know where Gadsden is.
I do know where Gadsden is, yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Well,
those were my old stomping grounds. Went to school in Huntsville there for a little while.
Cool. Georgia Bassmaster said, roll dogs. Ouch. Why is everybody ganging up on me, man? I grew up 15 minutes outside of Auburn. So, War Eagle, got to get it out there. College football starts next Saturday. Are you guys pumped or what?
Oh yeah, I am pumped. I am definitely pumped. I'm actually going back home to watch the first game with my dad. So.
That's cool. I've never been to Tuscaloosa though. Is it cool?
Never?
No, I've never been to the town of Tuscaloosa.
It's pretty cool on game day. It's really, really cool on game day. I've been to Auburn, but not on game day. What did I go down there for? Oh, we were going through there to get to Montgomery for some reason.
Yep.
But yeah, Auburn's a pretty cool town too.
I grew up about 15 minutes from Auburn, so actually became an Auburn fan the same way I became a Christian, and that was from dating a girl who her family went to church. Her family was Auburn fans, and that was kind of when I was getting into college football, so declared my allegiance to the Tigers. GB is actually was fishing with Lojo earlier today. I can't wait to hear that story. This dude looks like he just slays the fish. Is he talking about me? Jay Stone, are you talking about me?
He's got to be talking about
Or is he talking about you? He's probably talking about you. You got that look like you just slay out on the water.
I've been skunked a few times in my life.
So it's funny, like you mentioned that you're a Christian, you go to church. We were talking about 5 minutes before we went live, and you asked what I do for a living. I said I'm a youth pastor. I'm always nervous at first saying that because sometimes when I say that, I'll tell you a story. Jeremy and I went to pick up his last John boat a couple weeks ago, and the guy was like, "What do you guys do?" I said, "We're actually both youth pastors." He's like, "Man, I know I need to be getting back in church." And I was like, "Whoa, man! I did not mean to like put any pressure."
I'm not coming at you like that.
Yeah, just be you. Like, just be you, 100%. Like, I'm not here to judge anybody. So, Georgia Bassmaster shot 2 crazy videos with Lojo. I can't wait to see them, man. Dude, I'm excited for you. That's so exciting. Hopefully, there's a thing in the mill. There's something in the chamber where me and GB Could potentially be filming some stuff side by side soon. I don't treat you any different. I still act the same. That's awesome. Yes, I try to as well, Jay Stone. Unless you're a Bama fan. Now I have to end the interview. I'm just kidding. So
Yeah, now
back
live stream's over.
back on track though. So for those of you that are listening on Spotify or your favorite podcast app, we do let chat kind of carry the conversation a little bit. We will answer questions as they come up. If they're wildly off topic or it fits later in the show, we'll answer them later. Oh man, I just got a little indigestion from eating bagel bites. But
Yeah, those are good.
so tell us a little bit like how you got into fishing and then how you got into creating content around there.
I've been into fishing probably ever since I could hold a fishing pole. My grandpa got me hooked on catfishing when I was little, just with worms or catfish bait or whatever. Had a little ice fishing pole, probably yay long, pulling out 10-pound catfish out of his little
Cool.
line. It was pretty fun. I put line on it. There was like 30-pound test braid, 30-pound test mono,
Yeah.
just trying to not break off. It was kind of fun. But as I grew up, obviously you get into more fishing skills. Got into crappie fishing, got into bass fishing. And then once I hit school, as in college, all that kind of didn't have time for any of that kind of stuff. So I was studying, go to work. And then I really didn't pick it up until, I don't know, probably 3-4 years ago. Back when I first moved to Pampa here with my wife, got involved in the church and got a hold of this guy, and he goes fishing like 2 or 3 times a week, and I hopped on his boat and I forgot how much I loved fishing. So I instantly got rehooked. Went and got a bait caster, baits, and started driving down, doing bank fishing, doing whatever I could to get out on the water.
Cool.
And then I finally talked to the wife. I was like, "We got to get me a boat. I got to have a boat."
Cool. So you have your own. What do you have?
I have a Bass Tracker, Pro Team 175.
Cool. That's like such a popular boat here too.
Yeah, it is a very, very popular boat. Not so much in this area because it kind of gets windy up here in the Texas Panhandle.
Okay.
So
a lot of people here, like we fish the river a lot, and I was talking to somebody because I'm on the fence right now about, do I get a Bass Tracker or do I bite the bullet and get a fiberglass boat? And there's benefits to each. This will be my first boat in the next year or so, and I've heard pros and cons of both. But like, man, dude, like Bass Trackers are everywhere here. It's the Pro Team 175. I see them all the time and going just zooming up and down the river. So maybe that's the route that I go. But yeah, people say like when it's really windy or the weather's kind of bad, or some days the lake can be really bad. Here we have 2 lakes, the Sandy Cooper lakes. They say there's some days you don't want to be in a Bass Tracker. But what about creating content around fishing? How did that kind of get started, or how did you decide you wanted to start doing that?
well, as I was getting back into fishing, I started watching all these guys on YouTube. Doing certain things. LFG is one of them. I watched LFG, like I binge watched all of his content.
I love his channel.
Probably all in a week.
Okay.
It was just so much watching on YouTube, and then eventually I started going out and I started applying these things myself. That everything that I learned on YouTube, and they give you lots of good tips. But every now and then I'd find something I was like, well, it's a little easier to do it this way.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I rig it with 8-pound test line instead of the 15, they don't see the line as much. And I started picking up on things. I was like, man, I have a whole lot of stuff that I could share as I'm learning stuff on fishing. So I really wanted to get out there and start helping people out, even though I wasn't an expert in fishing. Yeah. As I picked up on things and learned things, I wanted them to learn with me.
Yeah. I think that's something that my friend Jeremy said, because I get in my own head a lot about like, why would anyone listen to me, because I've only been fishing for real for about 2 years, and I had fished a little bit prior to that. But it's like, why would someone listen to TJ? But I think you have a good point. People do want to hear your side of it, and as you learn, you're teaching people the things that you learned. For example, I just learned that maybe throwing a Texas rig on straight 50-pound braid isn't the best way to present the Texas rig. So like I'm fishing a tournament Saturday, and my boater His name was Tyler. You'll meet Tyler. Um, in a video. I don't know if that video is going to come out this week or next week. It's a great video, but he was like, "Hey man, I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life, but you might want to put a leader on that thing." So, are you on any what other platforms do you create content on?
I've been messing around with Instagram,
Okay.
just a little bit. I don't really have a huge following. I'm not really good at Instagram. I don't really know all the ins and outs like I do on YouTube.
Okay.
And then obviously that content falls over to Facebook.
Sure.
Um, but that's really the only two platforms I've been focusing on.
Okay. And your Instagram handle, for those of you, I didn't link that in the description. I only linked your YouTube channel, but it's Clearwater Fishing 19, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. Well, I guess Clearwater Fishing was taken.
Yes, and I contacted the person, and they never, contacted me back. They hadn't posted anything in 4 years.
Dang. I
I was like,
wonder.
okay.
There's got to be a way to hijack that, though. There's got to be a way.
Yeah, I tried to contact Instagram. They didn't respond. So I'm like, okay, well, it's okay. 19. That's the year I started all this. So we'll keep it at 19.
Well, Instagram's owned by Facebook, so yeah, they're probably not going to be very helpful. All right, so we had said that we met in Ketchco's happy hour meeting last Thursday. So everyone knows that I was in the On the Line contest, but interestingly enough, you applied for On the Line, didn't get in, but they still offered you an influencer contract. What was that kind of process like, and how did you feel when Ketchco approached you?
Well, when I first applied, you have those videos that you post online and they're private. So no one else can see them except for the link that you provide.
Mm-hmm.
So I was watching those intently to make sure. It's like, okay, someone watched this one.
Yeah.
Someone else watched it, It's like really getting excited. It's like, oh, I might actually get on this thing. And then I realized when they came out with the names and all that, and I was like, man, I didn't make it. But then 2 days later, Eli, he's one of the guys at Ketchco. He contacted me and asked me if I was interested. And I was like, absolutely, I really want to be a part of this.
Cool.
It was a great opportunity. I was like, yeah, this is like the dream sponsorship here.
Yeah.
So I was super excited. I was like, where do I sign?
Yeah. So yeah, dude, I remember like I found out in season 1 of On the Line was obviously like the first one they were figuring it out. And so I found out I was eliminated before I got an email from Katie. Katie and Eli ran the On the Line contest. Really, Katie did the majority of it from my understanding. And so I got an email from her, like, I want to say it was like 45 minutes later. Like, I'm already like I was kind of down. I was kind of feeling bad. But then I got the email that said, hey, unfortunately, you've been eliminated, but we want to know if you're interested in this influencer sponsorship. And I was like, heck yeah. Like, that was my main goal. Like, I can buy a boat later. I can buy the rods later. I think my YouTube is on the come up. I really wanted the opportunity. Like, I even told Katie, I was like, my goal when I found out, I was sad for a minute. And then my goal was to work my butt off and then approach them about working together. So it worked out. Aiden said, I caught my first bowfin today. Do you have those where you live? We absolutely do. Some people here call them mudfish, but they are absolutely everywhere here in South Carolina. They even have tournaments for them. One of the tournaments is called the Jurassic Classic because they're like an ancient fish, I guess. And I even caught one in the pond behind my house. I have no idea how it got there, but it's there. And if you watch my recent video, the 2v2 river challenge, Jeremy actually catches 2 in that video. So okay, going back to working with Ketchco, it is a dream sponsorship. They, I feel like, have gone above and beyond already, taking care of me. Being a smaller channel on the come up, I feel like they're just such a great company to work for. And we're going to talk about some of their products here in a minute. So one thing I think is safe to say from the talk is that there will be an On the Line season 2. Is that something that you're excited about? Like, are you going to apply for the second season of it, or?
Dude, I don't know. It really depends if I'm still qualified for it, because I plan on trying to take this thing to the next level.
Let's go, yeah.
So they had some subscriber limitations. If some of you guys don't know out there, you had, I think it was 15,000. I think you had to be less than 15.
I think so, yeah.
So obviously you can see where my plans are.
Yeah.
We're going all in on this YouTube thing.
Your goal is to be disqualified from competing and on the line next year.
Yes, that is my goal.
Or whenever they do it. They haven't told us that. They just said, they're talking about it. So I can get, like, it's gonna happen. Just the details aren't worked out. You know what? Same. Yeah. That's a good goal to have.
Yeah. But being on the line yourself, a bunch of you guys have already talked about it. It's just, as a viewer, there was so much content to watch. It was incredible. I was like, I couldn't watch. As also a consumer, there's no way I could have watched all of it and been, really fair in my voting.
Yeah. So I know some people didn't do the final video or 2 videos. Well, did everybody do the third? The third was, well, let me ask you this. As a viewer and you wanted to be a competitor, what was your favorite week of challenges?
Oh, it's got to be the painting of the baits.
Hands down.
That was awesome.
I think everyone did that week, even if they were eliminated. But not everybody did week 4, which is fine. Week 4 was a little bit different, and it meant more if you were still in it. But collectively, it was between 30 and 40 videos released for the challenge. So that's a ton of content, because they all had to be. GB, if you're still in chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but was the limit 15? It was either 10 or 15 minutes. I can't even remember. I'm a terrible contestant. Any other introductory stuff we need to cover before we move on to talking about fishing and baits and stuff?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
How good is Auburn going to be this year?
Oh my gosh, dude! I don't have high hopes. It's first year with a new coach, but they say they're looking good, but we'll see. Like, I don't have high hopes though. And so the Braves, I'm a huge Braves fan, and the Braves are absolutely on fire right now. And so I came to know college football a little bit later, so I'm not as into it as I am baseball. But once baseball season is winding down, or when the Braves get eliminated, then I'll be able to shift my focus. Or, as Auburn starts to play like the bigger names, like, Georgia and Alabama, I pay a lot more attention to those. GB corrected me, and it's he didn't do the final video, but they were 15 minutes top. It was max. It was funny because I think I've told this story before. Everybody was like, I'm having trouble getting it down to 15 minutes. If it's 15 and a half minutes, surely that's okay. And then Katie sends us all a message. Please make sure it's 15 minutes flat. It was so funny. Hey, what's up, Southern Studios, which is my friend Jeremy, by the way. So, all right, let's talk about fishing for a little while.
All right, let's go for it.
I got some sound effects. Here we go. This segment is going to be called Fishing Report. Tell me how fishing is out in Texas.
Well, it has been hot.
Same.
Hot. We're talking mid-90s all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Here lately, the wind has been ripping. When I mean ripping, sustained at 20 miles with gusts of 30.
Jeez.
So that means I've been at home making content.
Nice. And I've noticed that, and we'll talk about your content in a second. Like, you've done a lot of uploads lately that have been overviewing baits and things.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about a couple of those baits in just a second. But absolutely the same. Like, I fished a tournament last month. I fished a tournament a month with my bass club as a non-boater. Caught 0 fish. My boater caught 0 keepers. Yesterday or Saturday, I caught 1 keeper, but I caught 4 or 5 fish. It's just been really slow. If you're not on them in the morning, just hang it up and go home, because it is so hot. It's like you said, mid-90s. When you're out there on a kayak or a john boat in the sun and the wind's not blowing, it feels like it's 1,000,000 degrees out there.
It is hot.
So
the water's been hot, and it's just been tough out there. So it's kind of a blessing in a way that you get to take a little bit of break. And usually August is the time that I take a little bit of time to be off the water.
Okay.
Just because it's so hot, and just kind of recoup and do some content at the house and that kind of stuff.
So I fished out of a Phoenix this weekend, and I'm in love. It was awesome. But the front carpet.
When is yours coming in?
Dude, if my wife would let me, I would go order it tomorrow. The front deck was like padded, and he let me run the trolling motor and stuff for a little while. The front deck was like padded. I was like, dude, this is just nice. It's very luxurious to a degree. Does a bass tracker get super hot? Like
Yes. The it's all on aluminum paneling.
Mhm.
There is some wood paneling in it, but the aluminum parts. You step on those barefooted, you're
Nice.
gonna wish you had some flip flops.
Yikes.
So
Cool. So what are what are your favorite baits to throw like right now?
right now we're sticking to the drop shot.
Okay.
The drop shot is an important bait when the heat gets on.
Okay.
I try to stick to around rock piles and brush piles that are 20 foot deep, maybe a little deeper. Sometimes they're on there, sometimes they're not. And sometimes, even if they are there, they don't want to bite. So at least the drop shot will keep it in front of them for a really long time.
Right. And that's the technique that I need to work on this year. I've never really given it that fair of a chance. I tried it last year, didn't work out. I caught one fish actually in the contest on a drop shot. Other than that, like it's something that I need to work on. Georgia Bassmaster asks, would y'all rather fish in August when it's in the 90s or February when it's in the 20s or 30s to 40s? And I don't like super love being cold, but I haven't fished that yet. So for me, I'd have to say in the heat because I think I know at least how to catch them in the morning before the sun comes up. What about you?
Uh, I do quite a bit of walleye fishing in the wintertime. So doing the 30s and 40s, I've done that before.
Okay.
I know where there's some crappie spots on another lake are, and they'll bite any time of the year there.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll probably fish in the 30s and 40s this year in February.
Okay.
Just to be doing some walleye fishing.
Cool. So Jeffrey Ziegler, who's a pitcher at the Citadel here in the Charleston area, me and him both have the same middle name. I didn't know that. That's pretty funny. Yeah, I think I would rather fish in the heat now, but like I said, the bass club that I'm in fishes a tournament every month. So come February when I'm bundled up in an Aftco bib and hoodie and stuff, I'll give you the feedback. But like, what do you even use when it's freezing outside?
When it's that cold, I use tiny little slab spoons.
Okay.
And the walleye like to be around brush, so I'll use a tiny little slab spoon, drop it down there, and jig it around a bunch of different brush piles. And to be honest with you, the fishing's not exciting. You may get 3 fish in 5 hours, but you do catch a few.
Okay. 1 second.
And then you get really cold, and then you're like, I want to go warm up in the truck for a little while.
I'm pretty excited though to learn like all these yearly techniques and things like that because right now my main focus is on the river. You can catch anything with a white zoom trick worm, so I'm trying to learn new techniques. I need to try the drop shot a little bit. I think one thing, and this is more of a content question, but that's okay. Do you feel like as a content creator, GB, you might be able to speak to this as well. Do you feel like pressure sometimes to go out and catch fish using certain lures, even if you know they're going to be biting something else?
Oh man, it's so frustrating because you'll plan it out so well. You'll have an idea of what you want to say and the scripts, and you'll be thinking about, okay, I'm going to say this after I catch the first fish, and then you realize after 5 or 6 hours of fishing, you never caught anything.
Yeah.
And then you're just frustrated and then in your fishing trip.
Right.
So yeah, there's so much pressure when you're out there trying to do something on a specific bait, even though you know another technique will work.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll just pick up the other technique, even though just to get myself out of a funk.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you get in a funk out there and you're like, man, are the fish even here? Let me try this other technique for 30 minutes. Okay, boom, I got one. They are here. I just got to fish this a little harder.
I'm working on a Zoochie Bug video, which we're going to talk about the Zoochie Bug in a second. But we went out and Jeremy actually caught a few on different stuff. But I stuck to the Zoochie Bug the entire time because, like I said, like I felt like I'm working on a Zoochie Bug video. I have to get catches on this specific lure. Like Georgia Bassmaster just said in chat, especially when a new lure drops from a sponsor and they just aren't having it. Dude, I caught one fish on the Zoochie Bug out there the other day, so I'm gonna hit a pond tomorrow night to try to like beef up that video a little bit, you know, because I think it's a great bait. We'll talk about it in just a second, but they just weren't, like you said, they weren't having it the other day. And the one fish I caught, he was very small. I like to catch a donkey on one of these Zoochie bugs.
Yeah, you want to catch one of those 5-pounders.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely. So what are some of your favorite baits overall, Guggen or otherwise?
Oh well, my personal best came on this Guggen Bandito bug,
Nice.
the smaller version, the 3.3 inch.
Okay.
So I caught that this spring on Lake Meredith, flip it into brush, getting ready to spawn, and she was up there, and it was awesome.
How big was it?
6.5.
Nice.
My new PB. So
Cool. Congrats.
what's your PB?
4.5.
4.5. Well, you're gonna be breaking that soon.
So at the Bass Club or in the I can't. Oh man. They've told me that that'll be broken very soon because the fishing, they say, in South Carolina on our Sandy Cooper lakes are about to. They said it's about they said September is going to be good. October is going to be fire. Like the fish are just going to be like fired up. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
And
the fall usually picks up. And you start fishing more bait imitating fish. Boom, they're on fire. But in the springtime, it's all about flipping, and I love flipping all sorts of baits. I'll flip the Bandito bug. I've already got out here 2 other baits. This is from Grande Bass. This is their baby rattlesnake.
That's so cool.
So I like this bait. They make a full-size rattlesnake. This is what, probably 3.5 inches long. And then Yoda Worm is the other one.
Yes.
Really started fishing this one this year. So that's also kind of mimics the rattlesnake, but it's just a little bigger.
We fished the Yoda Worm on the back of the clickbait, which is Guggen's vibrating jig, in week 2 of the contest, and the action on the Yoda Worm is so crazy good. And Jeremy actually ordered some, has caught fish on it. Like the Yoda Worm is fantastic as a trailer, as a drop shot. There's so many different ways you can rig that bait.
Yeah, I like to use it as a creature bait. It's almost like a mix between a creature bait and a stick bait with a little tail the way it is.
The tickle tail.
Yeah, the tickle tail.
So do you do a lot of frog fishing in Texas?
Up here in the Panhandle, there's not a whole lot of matted vegetation.
Okay.
And that kind of vegetation. So it's kind of tough. A few years back, not last year, maybe the year before, our water level was just perfect and started falling, and we had some vegetation, and it became matted, and that was awesome fishing.
Cool.
But I don't get to do a whole lot of frog fishing up here. I usually have to travel quite a ways to do it.
So I want to talk about a bait real quick. There's never been another lure that came out that I was as excited about as this one. But for just a second, I want to talk about the 10,000 fish Tataki Frog. If you're watching online right now live, I'm holding it up in front of the camera, kind of showing you some different parts of it. If you're listening to this later, go over to my YouTube channel, click the Carl's Bait and Tackle link, or go to shopcarls.com and you can see the 10,000 fish Tataki Frog. And so the Tataki Frog, like when they first sent us the email saying that this is coming, I got so excited because when you look at all the different colors, and I even posted this on my Instagram, they remind me of like racers, like Honda Civics, Acura Integras that have been fixed. They remind me of Fast and Furious a little bit. But it's such a good looking frog. But some of the things about it is it's heavier. It has an external weight that makes it easier to walk the dog, so to speak. The hooks are like in line with the body. There's like these little channels that the hooks sit in, so it's more weedless. And the legs have the regular standard frog legs, but then it has these tassels that they float the whole time the frog's in the water. It gives it a really great look in the water. And I know you've done a video. What were some of your first impressions of the Tataki Frog? I haven't seen your video review of it, so you can review that here if you want.
Okay, so the first thing obviously is the weight system. It is definitely new, definitely different than anything that is out there on the market. Most of the frogs out on the market are going to have that belly weight in it.
Mm-hmm.
But that weight being on the hooks, makes the hooks a lot stiffer. They don't flex nearly as much as any other frog. So if you try to bend the hooks out or bend them inward, it's not going to bend. You're
Right.
going to hurt yourself before you bend them. So it's a really stiff hook. So you don't have to worry about a hook flexing out when you do a hook set. It's going to penetrate into that fish's mouth. So the weight system does have two benefits there. The other benefit I liked a lot was, and you already spoke to it, is that those channels specifically going around the hooks themselves,
Mm.
they definitely provide a place for the hooks to rest and not stab into the body.
Mm-hmm.
But it also provides two guards against things from getting onto the hook.
Right.
So it's really nice to have that.
Um, I have a goal to collect all of them because they look amazing to
Well,
me. There's something about this frog. Like I said, there's never been a lure that dropped where I was like, oh my gosh, that's the coolest looking thing I've ever seen.
how many are there?
There's 11 different colors of this frog.
I'm gonna have to talk to Eli to make that 42.
So this color is called Rising Sun, which is Japan is the land of the rising sun. It kind of has that Japanese flag look to it, the black and the red stripes. And 10,000 Fish, for those of you that don't know, is a Ketchko brand, and they try to replicate JDM, or Japanese domestic market baits. Hey, what's up, AL Bassin? Did you go out on the river the other day, by the way? And so I love the 10,000 Fish brand. I've always loved imports and cars of that. And so getting into fishing and seeing that there's a market for Japanese style baits, I love this brand. I love 10,000 Fish.
I love their names.
Yeah.
All their names are really hard to say most of the time.
So do you know what Tataki means?
I have no idea. Inform me.
Okay, so Tataki, I Googled it. Tataki is a way of preparing a dish. Like, it's a certain way that they prepare food. From what I understand, if anybody in chat knows differently, let me know. But that's kind of what I came across because I was at a Japanese steakhouse the other day, and you could order something called Tataki. And I was like, well, I wonder what that is. You caught 5 small ones, 1 to 2 pounds. Hey, at least you got out there, man. At least you got out there and caught some in this heat, dude. Congrats. The second bait, or any other thoughts on the Tataki Frog?
The other thing that I noticed, and I think I touched on in my video, is it already has pre-made bends in the frog that help it collapse when the fish bites on it.
Oh yeah.
So that's actually pretty beneficial. You don't have to create and waste energy creating those bends.
So I've had 3 blow-ups on the Tataki Frog. 1 missed it, 1 just got the legs, and 1 got off close to the boat because I didn't set the hook hard enough. But there's gonna be a day where I go out and I'm only throwing these bad boys. I've got
that's where the 50-pound braid goes.
That's exactly where it goes. I've got 1, 2, 4. I think I've got 6 or 7 of them now. Once my next order comes, I want to have, like I said, I want to have all the colors of the Tataki Frog. I will say one thing about it though. On my bluegill colored one, which is the one Ketchko sent me, after throwing it for an entire day, the hooks have started to rub the paint. But functionality wise, anyway, that doesn't matter because the fish can't see the top of the frog. So who cares? There will be a Q&A at the end. When we have our challenges, I love it when y'all use frogs. And so the reason he says that is because he doesn't believe in top water. But me and Jeffrey, when we fish against Jeremy, we have success on frogs. So the next bait I want to talk about real quick is the 10,000 Fish Zoochie Bug. And this is the one I'm working on a video for now. For those of you that don't know, this bait looks like a little dragon. It's got the flutter wings, they call it, which helps give it action on the way down. It's got the tickle tail, which is also something that is on the Yoda Worm. And then it's got these 2 big appendages that just move water like crazy. And the cool thing about this bait is you can customize it to your liking. Do you want to take the wings off and have more of a slimmer profile? Do you want to take the legs off, the tail off? You can do that and still fish this bait. Now, I've only fished it as is, and I've only caught 1 fish so far. But when you pull this thing through the water, all of these appendages have such crazy action. I like to kind of pop my baits a lot, and these back legs were kicking almost just like a frog in the water would, like just under the surface. Such a cool, intriguing bait. It looks like a little dragon. Do you know Zoochie, I googled, actually means like from the clouds or something like that. I don't know exactly. There was no like clear answer, but I think it is supposed to mean like a little dragon. What do you think?
That explains the lingo on the back.
Oh yeah,
It
yeah,
starts
yeah.
off with "from the clouds."
Yeah, the Zoochie Bug dives out of the clouds. There you go, dude.
Okay. Yeah, I try to read those in those videos because they always make them very poetic.
And it's interesting. Like, I love the 10,000 fish brand, but like, what do you think about the Zoochie Bug specifically?
I love the Zoochie Bug's versatility. So, say I'm just gonna take off to a pond and I just need one bait that can do it all. I can
Mhm.
fish. I can take the Zoochie Bug and dissect it and make a stick bait out of it.
Right.
I can make a crawl out of it. I can do. I can change the wings, take the wings off for a faster fall rate.
Mm-hmm.
I can leave the wings on for a slower fall rate. You can do all sorts of cool stuff with it.
So right now I've got it in this is the blue crawl color. I have a June bug and I have watermelon red coming. So I'm excited to keep throwing this bait because I do really like it. I saw everybody was getting theirs this weekend or last weekend. They were like a week and a half ago from the time we're recording this episode, and mine were supposed to be delivered on Saturday or on Monday, and then I got a shipping update that said it would be here Tuesday. And then I got a shipping delivery notification Tuesday night at 7:15, but they actually didn't hit my mailbox until Thursday night. So I haven't had as much time with it as I'd like to get the video out. But we're gonna keep working on it. Jeremy says, I think the Zooch, we are calling it the Zooch, has great action. I would love a watermelon red flake. That's crazy because I have a pack of watermelon red flake on the way, and of course you can have some or all of them, and I'll just use the June bug. But yeah, I think I love the versatility. I've only fished it as is, but on the back of the package, it actually tells you can fit. They recommend fishing this as a Texas rig or Carolina rig. So I've caught one on a Texas rig. I'm working on a Carolina rig. Do you fish a Carolina rig a lot out in Texas?
I probably should.
Yeah.
But I probably replace that with a drop shot quite often.
Okay.
So that's probably where I lie. The Carolina rig is very versatile. It's just I've never been really good at feeling the bites with a Carolina rig. And really it just takes practice, is from what I've been told, to tell, hey, that's not a rock, that's a fish, or well, I'll think that's a fish, but it ends up being a rock most of the time.
Right. So I'm kind of in the same boat. Like, I haven't caught anything on a Carolina rig, but I've been trying it the last few outings. GB said they didn't send him any, and he was excited to try it. That had to have just been an accident, right?
Yeah.
But definitely order some. I think they're like Jeremy even said, the action in the water is insane on these.
Hey, why
things.
didn't he get Lojo to give him some? I bet Lojo's got some.
Oh, do you think he does?
Yeah.
I wonder if he gets 10,000 fish stuff too.
I bet he gets whatever he wants.
But yeah, definitely GB. I definitely recommend ordering some because they look really cool. And I'm pretty new to like creature baits and stuff, but I'm excited to be throwing the thing. I didn't throw it in the tournament Saturday. I almost did, but I was like, I got to play it safe because I'm trying to get some points in my club.
It could have won you the tournament, dude.
It might have, man, and I second guess myself. AL Basson says the Texas rig is a go-to on the Cooper River. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we catch most of ours weightless Texas rigged on the river here. And I'm telling you, A.L. Basson, get his white zoom trick worms if you want to catch fish, if you want to force it. The last thing under the fishing report is the Bassmaster Classic in 2022, next year, is on Lake Hartwell, South Carolina. Are you coming?
Maybe. My family lives in Alabama, so I might be able to swing by and do that. But I just came from the Bassmaster Classic in June. Over here at Ray Roberts, and that was an absolute blast.
What are some of the things you do there, like besides weigh-ins?
Well, at the lake, they typically have boat demos, so you can go out and ride on these $80,000 boats, and kind of see actually how they feel like on the water. Play around with the storage systems, play with the trolling motors, the fish finders, and do all that fun stuff.
Okay.
So if you're in the market for a boat, going to the Classic is a fantastic
That's
idea.
cool. That's cool.
They usually have tons of bait giveaways at the lake and at the expo. They have an expo there, usually near the weigh-in.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on where it is. Hartwell's had the Classic so many times; they have something established there.
That's cool.
So you'll have an expo with tons of bait manufacturers, tons of local tackle shops, tons of everybody who even thought about going fishing will be there.
Okay. So Georgia Bassmaster said he'll be there all 3 days. AL Bassin says let's make a road trip. David Clements, actually, when I was fishing with him last time, said that he is going to be he wants to go. I was talking to guys in my bass club. They want to go. Catchco will have a booth at the next one, so you'll be able to have a backstage passes if you're an influencer. Let's freaking go, dude. So
Count me in.
So it looks like we're going. But yeah, I have every intention of being there. I can't wait because I've never experienced anything like that. And we did a weigh-in. There was the Elite Series came to the Sandy Cooper Lakes last season, and me and David Clements actually went to the weigh-in, and that kind of made me fall back in love with the Elite Series and watching them a little bit more. And I can't wait to go to the Classic and experience those things.
Dude, it's awesome. Speaking from an influencer, I don't know if you know who Tyler's Real Fishing.
Yeah, I watched all of his videos.
Well, he got to be on main stage as one of the representatives from Skeeter.
Mm.
And he got to be up there, and they did this contest throwing the rubber duckies, and you won whatever was on the rubber ducky.
Cool.
So that was awesome to see an influencer, just some normal guy like us on YouTube, end up going to that level.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, GB says if we can get some backstage passes being influencers, so hopefully we can get that Catchco connection, because I'm right here. I'm not that far from Hartwell, maybe just a few hours. So I'm planning on going. If GB is going to be there all 3 days, I'm going to take vacation and be there all 3 days too. So let's definitely get together and shoot some videos if we're all there together.
Yes, sir.
So I'm excited. This is unrelated, but there is a new Bassmaster video game coming out this year, and you better believe I will be streaming that when it comes out. So I'm a big gamer.
What is that called?
It's called is it called Bassmaster? It's got like a really generic name. Bass fishing game. It's called. It's not the fishing sim that's already out. I gotta look it up now. It's gonna drive me crazy. Bassmaster Fishing 2022, the video game that's coming. Yeah, it's coming this fall. You can play as a pro angler and stuff. I don't know. I hope there's like an online mode. It should be a lot of fun. So
I'll have to get that if there's an online mode. I'll play you in a tournament.
Heck yeah, dude. Yeah, it is gonna be on Steam, so I assume there's gonna be some kind of online thing. So let's switch modes to talk about content creating.
Whoop, whoop.
This segment's called "What You Watching."
What have I been watching?
What have you been watching? You mentioned TRF. I watched TRF. He had a pretty controversial video come out in the last week and a half. Have you seen the one about fishing a frog with a spinning combo?
I have not seen his latest.
Dude, it is pretty funny. He and pro anglers say you don't fish a frog with a spinning combo if you're trying to be efficient, which professional anglers are trying to be efficient. And people just started like losing their minds. Oh, well, I can't afford the most expensive rod. Oh, I've been fishing a frog for 50 years on my spinning combo. And he's like, I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying it's not as efficient.
Well, it seems like a challenge to me that I want to go out and fish with a frog.
There you go.
On a spinning rod.
I mean, and he even does it in the video. I went back and watched the video, but it's pretty funny. Definitely watch it. So TRF, Tyler's Real Fishing. I learn a lot from his channel. I watch all the guys, all the on the line guys still when they upload. One channel that I've gotten in like hard into this past couple weeks is Fishing with Norm.
Fishing with Norm. I like Norm.
So I've always liked Norm, but I've never like sat down and just watched his videos for like hours. And I've been doing that. In his latest video where he's actually with Lojo, Ao, and Devin, and they're fishing at Lojo's house with like stuff they got from the grocery store, his humor, I feel like, is very similar to mine. It's just very witty and like on the spot. They're so sarcastic with each other. It's so funny. So I've gotten really big into fishing with Norm these past couple weeks. He just did a send to New York, which I thought was really cool. He like threw a dart at a map. And then he GB says he's a sweetheart. So he actually commented on one of my TikToks a while back, and I commented on one of his videos recently, and he hearted it. So like I'm gonna the 1v1v1v1. It's so funny because I do a 1v1v1, and then he one-ups me and adds a fourth person, dude. That's what I was thinking when I watched that video. But I need to reach out to him sometime and be like, yo, dude, what are you doing Monday nights? Let's have a chat, you know?
Yeah, you might get him on.
Dude, the funniest thing in that video to me, and I don't want to spoil the whole video because it's so good, is him and Ao are like out, they're out on a kayak together, and he's like, dude, is this our first date? It's so freaking funny.
Okay, that's great.
What about you? What about you, man? What have you been watching lately?
Oh, I've been binge watching some Lojo the last few weeks. Obviously, he sunk Ao's boat. The whole I guess the Badger and him kind of splitting apart in a way, but never really actually splitting apart. They've been still working together quite a bit. It's been pretty cool to watch that transition. Obviously, he's not his full-time cameraman anymore, but it's kind of cool how Lojo, kind of took him. I don't want to say under his wing, but it's like, hey, let's work together for a while and get your channel up to speed, and then once you're ready to fly, we'll let you go.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really cool thing that Lojo did.
It
and
is.
Then AO Fishing there has got a lot of skills behind him now, and he's actually now probably got a lot more contacts and all that good stuff too.
Absolutely. So it's really cool. Like, I've got a personal connection to AO. Like, we have a mutual friend, so we're trying to see if he's interested in coming and talking to us as well. But me and him went to the same church when I started going to church, and I'm pretty sure he was in the first Sunday school class that I started teaching. He might have been a little bit younger, but he's such a cool guy. I love watching his videos too. Like, same thing. His sense of humor is just so good.
It is great.
So fun to watch.
The sarcasm is awesome.
But in the On the Line application, you had to say like who you wanted to collab with if you were able to collab with anybody. And I actually said Lojo. Like, he's one of my favorite creators to watch as well.
Yeah, I said LFG on mine.
Nice. Nice.
So, got a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, on all your content, Instagram, whatever, who's the largest like influencer that has ever commented on your stuff that you can recall?
It might actually be Fishing with Norm when he commented on my TikTok. Actually, I think that's it. What about you?
I've had Lunkers comment on mine.
Oh, that's cool.
That was awesome. I was doing an unboxing of a Mondo kit, and he said he was jealous, and I didn't believe him at all.
So, do you watch Lunkers a lot?
I used to watch. I like his fishing content, and I hadn't been watching his content here lately. Not because I don't enjoy it. It's just, I only have so much time.
So me and my wife watched his last video. Was another storage room thing where they got kind of like they got tricked into buying a staged unit. It's actually a pretty interesting video. But we were watching that last night. I love Lunkers. I saw he just put out a podcast today, actually. So I'll be listening to that this week. But his podcast is military related, and so I'm excited about that. But yeah, I followed him pretty closely on the NPFL trail. Definitely rooting for.
I did follow him on that. That was awesome to see that him taking the time to record that stuff.
Yeah, I hope he keeps going with it. I hope he keeps doing it, and I want to see him win, dude. I want to see him succeed.
Yeah, I think he's starting to figure it out. I think toward the end, he finally said he got in a routine and actually figured out how to make everything jive, from the traveling to get the boat ready to doing the research to figuring the lake out. He always at the very end just started really getting a hold of it. I think he ended up getting a check at some point.
I think he did. And I don't know, did it hold up that the bass that he caught was the biggest one of the season? He caught like an 8 or a 9 or something. It was ridiculous, but I need to double check that.
I don't remember.
So I got time for like one or two more questions, and then we'll move to a Q&A to close it out. But so obviously we're both content creators. You try to upload to YouTube twice a week. Is that hard to stick to?
It is very hard to stick to, and honestly, I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't stuck to it as well as I'd like to. There, every now and then, it's like, I want to just lapse on the Thursday and work on the Sunday.
Yeah.
I post Thursdays and Sundays, or my 2 days. I try to post.
Okay.
It gives me time to record on the weekends and then edit during the week.
Do you see more consistent growth when you are uploading twice a week?
I would probably see more consistent growth if I could upload 7 times a week.
Yeah, true.
But honestly, it's important to get out there in front of your audience and your potential audience as much as possible,
Sure.
and uploading new content. And that's the same thing on Instagram. The more you get out in front of people, the more likely they're going to see your content, your items that you have to offer.
Yeah, I've seen there's two schools of thought. There's either record something and get it out there to get it out there, because the more content you have out there, the more people can digest, or you post less frequently, but you put more effort into that so that your quality is a lot higher. And I find myself maybe in the middle, going back and forth, because some days I think, man, I could just record this unboxing and that's a video. And then some days I'm like, I need to do a full send, get Jeremy to give me some drone footage and some really high quality B-roll, and make sure that all my transitions are perfect and stuff. So I find myself going back and forth, but I think you would agree, like, consistency is key overall, right?
Definitely consistent. So if you can only post twice a week is what you need to do.
Mm.
But if you get some extra content and some extra time to edit and go fishing and all that stuff, post 3 times in a week.
Yeah. And GB says quality over quantity. And I think like I said, I go back and forth. Like, I won't post a video if it's terrible. And in fact, I posted a video this week where the audio was messed up in my intro and outro, and I have no idea how it happened. I went back, I had deleted the source files, but I used Premiere Pro, so I went back and I looked at the project file, and it showed where all the audio was, and everything was fine. So I don't know what happened, but I was like, I still want to release the video because I know people that were really wanting to see the saltwater video, especially the people involved with the video. But I was like, I can't just release this video knowing that there's an issue, like, quality wise.
Yeah.
I got to release another video with it to make up for it. So I definitely feel that struggle.
Yeah, it is a struggle, but yeah, I do agree with Georgia Bassmaster. Quality is important, very, very important, but sometimes it's the content that you're talking about. Now, I'm going to take an example, my oil change video. I was changing the oil on my 60 horse Mercury on my Bass Tracker, and it's a common motor. It's very common. A lot of boat manufacturers put them on their boats, and the quality of that video is awful. It's terrible, and that video probably has 40,000 views right now.
Dang.
The audio is terrible. The lighting was terrible. The angles were awful. I had shaky camera syndrome. Yeah, and it was one of the first videos I made. But as far as YouTube goes, long as the content was there and was helpful to people,
yeah, people
watched it.
I think, like, we should clarify too, like, neither one of us would recommend putting out terrible quality videos, but like, it happens sometimes, right? Sometimes we don't put our best out there.
But I would never post a video like that again.
But don't let that keep you from posting videos, I think.
Right.
Does it sometimes seem like all the bad videos that you don't try get a lot of views? When I get off stage and I say that sermon sucked, that was the worst one I've ever preached, is the one that I get the most positive feedback on. It's kind of the same thing with YouTube. Yeah, I did the tackle box, like, unboxing video, and like kind of talked about how I did it. There was no fishing in the video, and I was like, are people going to watch this video? There's no fishing. And then it's actually one of my better performing videos. How to and review videos pull up in the search engine more as well, according to Georgia Bassmaster, and he's 100% correct. And that's something that you'll probably see a lot more from me in the next month or so, because I've got this I got some stuff planned out that's kind of going that way.
Yeah, you said you were shopping for a boat. Post some videos on your process.
That's a good
on,
idea.
hey, what are you weighing right now? What are your options? You
I'm
know,
right.
you talked about, bass tracker versus a fiberglass. Those are all great options, and other people out in the world are going through that too.
Absolutely. I'm writing this down so I won't forget it. Um, one more question, and then we'll get to some Q&As. Well, actually, two questions. Quick answer. Do you think giveaways? I'm not even gonna ask that question. We all know the giveaways help with growth, and we don't really have time to dive into the logistics of giveaways, but we
Well,
will.
I do have a giveaway coming up. I did just cross over 3,000 subscribers,
Nice, dude.
and I talked to Ketchko and Carl's Bait and Tackle and Mystery Tackle Box, and they're gonna let me give away a 3-month subscription to Mystery Tackle Box, their Pro Box.
Heck yeah, dude.
So I'll be coming out with a video to pick that out. So you guys check on over my channel if you're interested in winning some Mystery Tackle Box.
His channel is linked down in the description below, and if you're listening to this on Spotify or your favorite podcasting app later, head over to Clearwater Fishing on YouTube and definitely look out for that video. I mean, I love Mystery Tackle Box, not just because they're a sponsor of mine as well, but they do cool stuff like this, and that's really cool. If you had one bit of advice to give people wanting to get into fishing content creating, what would it be?
Don't be afraid to post the terrible video.
Okay.
You will learn as you go. You will find out that maybe the video quality is subpar, but the audio is good. Post the video. Most people will click off of a video because of poor audio before poor video.
Yep. I completely agree. Because I'm the same way. If audio is bad, I'm out.
You have to go through the learning process as you go. If you go back into my archive, I have like 200 and something videos now.
Nice.
And if you go back to some of the first videos, they are crusty. They are pretty bad. But everyone has that stage. They have to go through that process. And then as you get better, you'll realize, hey, I need to improve my audio. So how do I improve my audio? You'll learn and get better.
Ed Sheeran says writing songs is like turning on a faucet that hasn't run in a long time. You got to get the dirty water out before the clean water starts to come. It's the same with creating content. You got to figure out your style, how you like to edit, how the music that you like, and all the whole 9 yards. But absolutely don't be afraid to start posting. Use your cell phone.
It's never an ending process. You're never perfect. You always will be like, what can I do better?
Okay.
What else can I do? Do I need a new camera? Do I need more audio stuff? Do I need more lighting?
Southern Studio said, TJ, I have some exciting content news to discuss with you after the podcast. Let's do it. Podcast over. Just kidding. All right, we'll move into a Q&A section real quick. Once again, dude, I'm so thankful for you coming on the show such late notice. Clearwater Fishing on YouTube, Clearwater Fishing 19 on Instagram. Make sure you guys give my man a follow. He's also going to be doing a giveaway very soon, and I can't wait for that either. GB says, would you rather post a video slaying a bunch of decent bass or a video where you catch one big one? This question has been asked frequently. I feel like several people have asked me that recently. And for me, I want to catch the one big one and lose my freaking mind, dude. Like, I want to catch a monster to where the audio, you're just hearing this. Oh my, like, like I want to be hype. So, I mean, if it's over 4.5 pounds, like I'm going to lose my mind, What about you? Would you rather catch a bunch of decent ones or one big one?
I mean, how big are we talking? Are we talking 5 pounds? Because I've caught a bunch of those. I'm not going to lose my mind over a 5-pounder.
Okay.
You give me a double digit, I'm going to lose my freaking mind.
Okay.
And you're going to see me like pass out on the boat with a fish laying on top of it.
Okay.
So yeah, I think I'm going to go for the big one, and I'm talking double digit big. I'm talking double digit on big fish.
I do wish I had a spot I could go to and know I was going to catch numbers though, to show off new baits and stuff. Like private waters fishing out in Texas, like we don't have anything like that here, or I would be all about it so that I could get some of these things done. So Jeffrey said, when are you going to bring someone in to fish against Southern Studios and I? What the heck, bro? You're supposed to be my partner. And A.L. Basson wants to be big is relative to you. 2 pounds is big to TJ. Oh my gosh, dude. I get hype over a 2-pounder. Shut up. A.L. Basson wants to do one of the challenges with us. So let's talk about fall break, and maybe I can get A.L. Basson to take me out on his boat and we'll destroy you guys. Any other questions for the Q&A? We'll give it a couple more minutes. Dude, so stoked for you and your channel. I'm glad we met. One of my favorite things about working with Ketchko is all the cool people that I've met recently. It's been really great.
Yeah. I'm really glad you reached out. This has been real fun, and I would love to be back on if you'll ever have me again.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I'm kind of in this phase where like I try to get somebody every week. I might just hit you up one week and be like, "Yo, come fill in. Let's just talk about fishing for a while." You know.
If I'm not out fishing, I'm pretty much here probably editing or doing some house stuff on Mondays.
Cool. Let's see. Would you rather catch a 10-pound largie or a 5-pound smallie? For me, I'd rather catch a 10-pound largie because it seems like crazy. There are no smallmouth in my area. And so really for me right now, just catching a smallmouth would be exciting. So the 10-pound largie would be the bigger thing for me. What about you?
Dude, that is a great question. I see these guys up north pulling out, 4 and 5 pound smallmouth in June and August, June through August, and I'm like, maybe that's not such a big thing, but I think it's harder than the average person thinks.
If you actually go to Georgia Bassmaster's channel, he did a send recently where he went up north and did some smallie fishing. It's really cool. So if you guys are interested in seeing some smallmouth fishing action, definitely go to GB's channel.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking the 10-pound largie though.
Yeah, for me too right now. That may change in the future though if I ever catch a smallmouth. A.O. Basson said, I'd rather catch a 6-pound spotted bass. That's pretty funny. That'd be pretty big. Digital Wells, hey Charlie. Did y'all already talk about the Zoochie Bug? You both have videos on it. I'm hearing some mixed reviews on the action. Thoughts seem like a good Carolina or a big shaky head deal. Yeah, we did talk about it pretty good earlier. I like it a lot because of how we talked about how versatile it is. For me, like you'll see this in the video that I put out, hopefully Wednesday actually. For me, the action of the legs in the water remind me of like an actual frog, like the way they were kind of like kicking in and out. I've gotten really good action out of it on a Texas rig, but I haven't tried it on a shaky head. I'm going to do that tomorrow now that you mention it, because the box recommends Texas or Carolina. So that's the only two presentations that I've tried. I'm going to try it on a shaky head tomorrow. That's actually really, really interesting.
I bet a shaky head's a great option.
Yeah. The action in the water is just crazy. Like there's so much going on, and I don't know if that's necessarily always a good thing. Maybe there are times when it's not a good thing.
We're in summertime. It's got to be a good thing.
But I'll say the one fish that I've caught on it so far is because of the action. Because I was pulling it through the water, like I said, the two like appendages were kind of pulsing like frog legs, like an actual frog kicking in the water, and a smaller bass came out of the grass, chased it down, and landed it. So,
dude, that's awesome.
So far, tried on a wobblehead. I've never thrown a wobblehead, but I need to get some. But so far, I think it's a really cool, interesting bait.
You should put it on an Alabama rig.
I've never thrown an Alabama rig either.
Oh, that's another one you might want to put on your 50-pound.
I don't think I have a rod that would sling an Alabama rig without snapping.
You got to get a muscle rod, man.
This is another... I do got to get a muscle rod. This is... Georgia Bassmaster has a question that I've been thinking about a lot lately. If you landed a 10-pounder for a mount, would you keep it? Or
I would do a replica.
So a lot of people say that, but like me and Southern Studios, we were talking about that, and would it be the same?
It's not going to be exactly the same. It's a replica, right?
I know. I'm torn because you want
the place that I would probably end up catching my 10-pounder, I probably wouldn't be able to get to keep it.
Okay.
I would be Lake Fork has that special slot limit.
Okay.
And that's probably where I'd end up catching mine.
So we don't have that here, so we could keep it. I don't know. I'm torn. I think if it ever happens, I put it in the well and I call you guys. I call Georgia Bassmaster and I say, bro, what I do here? What I do?
He'll say you eat it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna eat it. You have to throw a rig this year. I will. That's a good idea. Dude, that's an easy video, right? A-rig in February is absolutely dangerous. We're allowed to throw them here. The bass club that I fish in has no restrictions. So maybe I just dominate with a A-rig in February. Hey, I caught that fish, or hey, that looks like the fish I caught. That's kind of the same. My thought too. What do you got? What do you guys think? Are you in a hurry?
No, I'm hanging around for a long time.
I gotta go eat in a few minutes, but hey, I caught that fish versus hey, that looks. In that, if you're listening to this later, we're referring to like if you were to catch a 10-pounder and you wanted to get a mount, would you keep the fish to take to the place or get a replica? And Southern Studios said it like the difference is hey, I caught that fish versus hey, that looks like the fish I caught.
But you're not gonna, you're gonna have the mount over here, in the middle of my cowhide here. You're not gonna say, "Hey, that's a replica." I'm like, no, look at the fish I caught. You're not gonna say that.
I don't know. I don't know. A.L. Basson says just run up to the dam on the Cooper River right now with that roll tide rig. Why am I outnumbered by Alabama fans right now? So David says replica as well. He's like
I like the idea of letting someone else catch the fish, even though no one may ever catch that fish again. I just like that idea.
That's a good point. So if you land the 10-pounder, do you take like extensive pictures of it, I guess, to show the people?
Yeah, you're supposed to. Well, you're supposed to take girth pictures and length pictures, and then lots. So you'll actually have a tape measure as well.
Okay.
A cloth tape measure.
Huh.
Go around its belly, and then go the lengthwise.
GV says people can lie on a replica. You can't lie with the real skin. Give me that skin, boy.
Oh, he's not lying. That's true.
Oh man. So I'm torn. My favorite college team is the Citadel Bulldog baseball team. Jeffrey, you're my favorite collegiate athlete. If you catch a 75-pound catfish, are you mounting it?
75-pound catfish. Hopefully, it doesn't eat me.
Yeah. If I catch a 75-pound catfish, we eating that thing, bro. I'm gonna let you cook me up some catfish nuggets, bro. I don't know how I would catch a 75-pound catfish. It would
with a muscle rod,
bro. It would pull me. If I'm in my kayak, it's gonna pull me all around. Make sure video cameras are rolling. Absolutely. If I caught one time, David Clements, he actually. Another creator, by the way. So if you guys go follow him as well, we fish together frequently. Threw a jig under a dock and pulled out a pretty fat catfish. It was pretty nuts.
I caught a catfish on a headhunter.
Jeez, man, catfish are just brutal.
Yeah, they'll eat whatever.
Mike caught one that big. That's insane. I'm sure he kept it and ate it, right? Let me push this right here. Let me push this right here. Get the music.
Do you do any crappie fishing?
I don't, but I want to. So one of my videos I just posted was me buying panfish stuff.
I saw that one.
So I'd like to figure it out. I know people do it, but I haven't done it myself. Did y'all see my TikTok of the catfish? I don't think I did. I haven't seen that yet. I'll look it up when I get off here. So it is 10 minutes after 9. So unfortunately, we do need to end the podcast to keep it around that hour mark. And I have Zaxby's downstairs, I think. So I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited about that. Hey, once again, Clearwater Fishing, dude. Thank you so much for coming on, and I'm glad we met, dude. Definitely, guys, click the link in the description. Go follow all his content. Stay up to date with what he's doing, and we'll definitely have you on again in the future. Any last words? Any last words?
Before you just cut me off in the middle of my sentence. No, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate you having me. It's actually really fun to do these kind of things. So looking forward to being on it again.
Absolutely, dude. Thank you so much. Hang on one second. I'm gonna hang up with the chat, and I'll come right back to hang up with you. Great podcast each, dude. Georgia Bassmaster, thank you so much. Always a big supporter. Love your stuff too, man. I really do appreciate you. Can't wait. I hope that thing in October works out to where we're fishing side by side in a video, and I can't wait to see your Lojo videos. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's episode. I'm gonna go ahead and bring down the stream. This will be available on Spotify, and it'll be available on YouTube immediately. Spotify by Wednesday. You guys are seriously the best. I love doing this. It's just so much fun. Aiden, good night, man. Everybody listen at home, good night. I'm going to hit you guys with the ending screen, hanging up. No